These sharing non-negotiable laws will tear down your excuses and forge an unstoppable version of yourself. Law 1. Control your first hour. The first hour of your day isn't just a routine, it's a battleground where your future is decided. I spent years reaching for my phone the moment I woke up, letting the world's chaos flood my mind before I'd even fully awakened. And I wondered why I felt reactive, anxious, and always one step behind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." He wasn't being negative, he was preparing his mind, taking control before the world could impose its will on him. Your first hour sets the trajectory for everything that follows. When you surrender it to emails, social media, or the snooze button, you're handing over the controls of your mind to external forces. Here's what changed everything for me. I created a non-negotiable first-hour ritual. I wake at 5 a.m., no excuses. Cold water on my face, 5 minutes of breathing, writing 3 goals for the day. Reading philosophy, not news. Moving my body, even if just for 10 minutes. When I was building my discipline, that voice would scream at 5 a.m. that I needed more sleep. It would argue convincingly when faced with challenges that it's not worth the effort. It would rationalize every shortcut and compromise. I only began to grow when I recognized this voice as separate from my true self, a parasite feeding on my potential. You must learn to hear it, acknowledge it, and then act directly against its demands. Identify one comfort-seeking pattern in your life: sleeping in, avoiding difficult conversations, procrastinating on important work. Now, deliberately do the opposite. When that voice says later, you say now. When it says easier, you choose harder. Still wondering if this matters? Consider this. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're not just staying the same, you're actually growing weaker. There is no neutral ground. Law 3. Embrace the pain of growth. Pain isn't the enemy, it's the only path to real transformation. I spent years avoiding discomfort, wondering why I remained stuck in the same patterns. The breakthrough came when I finally understood what Seneca meant. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone, in the space where it hurts. The muscle tears before it strengthens. The mind breaks old patterns before forming new ones. The spirit faces resistance before it builds resilience. When I first began challenging myself physically, my body would scream for me to stop. Every instinct urged retreat to safety. But I discovered something powerful. On the other side of that pain was a version of myself I couldn't access any other way. The Stoics didn't seek suffering for its own sake. They recognized it as necessary for evolution. They embraced it as the forge that shapes raw potential into actual strength. Law 4. Let go of the need for approval. Your need for approval is a chain around your neck. I've watched it strangle potential, silence wisdom, and keep brilliant minds trapped in mediocrity. I lived there too, constantly checking likes, adjusting my words to please others, measuring my worth through external validation. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that finally broke this spell for me. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Think about that. You sacrifice your truth on the altar of opinions from people who aren't even thinking about you most of the time. You trade your authentic voice for approval that's as fleeting as morning dew. I know this battle intimately. The constant need to check notifications, the inability to sit in silence, the addiction to input that drowns out your own voice. Seneca warned, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." In our hyper-connected world, this has never been more true. When your attention is constantly fragmented, your power is too. I discovered this when I began practicing daily stillness, just 20 minutes of sitting in complete silence. No phone, no input, no distractions. At first, it was torture. My mind would scream for stimulation, but gradually, something shifted. In the silence, I could hear my own thoughts again. Solutions to problems emerged. Creativity flowed. Clarity returned. The Stoics practiced contemplation, regular periods of undistracted thought where wisdom could surface. In today's world, this isn't just helpful, it's revolutionary. Set a timer for just 10 minutes. Put your phone in another room. Sit in complete silence. Don't try to clear your mind, that's not the point. Instead, watch your thoughts without attaching to them. Notice how quickly you want to reach for distraction. Stay anyway. Here's a confronting fact. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day, about once every 10 minutes. Each check fractures your focus and diminishes your mental power. Law 6. Embrace your responsibility. Nothing will transform your life faster than taking absolute responsibility for everything in it. I spent years blaming circumstances, other people, bad timing, anything but myself. It felt righteous, even justified, but it left me powerless. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This wasn't just philosophy, it was his path to freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the promontory against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." His message, it's not about intensity, it's about immovability. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I chased motivation, working intensely when inspired, then disappearing when the feeling faded. My results were exactly what you'd expect: sporadic, unsustainable, and ultimately disappointing. Everything changed when I embraced consistency as a non-negotiable law. I stopped waiting to feel ready. I stopped needing the perfect conditions. I built systems that ensured I showed up regardless of mood or circumstance. Choose one small but significant daily practice: writing for 30 minutes, reading 10 pages, exercising for 20 minutes. Now, commit to doing it at the same time every day for 30 days, without exception. No matter how you feel, no matter what comes up. Track it visibly. Let me ask you, what would your life look like 1 year from now if you consistently did the things you know you should do? Now contrast that with continuing your current pattern of starting and stopping. Law 8. Confront the fear of failure. Your fear of failure isn't protecting you, it's imprisoning you. I've seen it paralyze brilliant minds, silence important voices, and keep dreams permanently in the realm of someday. Seneca observed, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." I found this painfully true. The disasters I feared rarely materialized, but the opportunities I missed due to fear were very real losses. When I launched my first major challenge, failure wasn't just possible, it was likely. The voice in my head created vivid scenarios of humiliation, but I had internalized the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. I asked myself, what's the worst that could happen? Can I survive it? What would I do next? By facing these questions directly, failure lost its paralyzing power. I could see it as merely an event, not a definition of my worth or capabilities. Identify something you've been avoiding due to fear of failure. Now, write down your answers to these questions. What's the absolute worst outcome? How likely is that outcome? Could you recover from it? What would you learn? What's the cost of not trying? Then take one small action today that moves you forward despite the fear. The question isn't whether these laws work. They've been proven across thousands of years. The only question is whether you'll have the courage to apply them starting today. Like this video if you're committed to this path. Drop a comment below with which law resonated most deeply with you. Share this with someone who needs to wake up to their potential. And subscribe for more content that doesn't sugarcoat the truth. Discipline isn't a habit, it's a war. And starting today, you're going to win it.